Once he moved to London, he enrolled in surgery school, and a pretty fearsome incident occurred there, where he was dissecting. Again, when you read his life, it's always just curious how medicine worked in the 1800s compared to today. Not just how doctors were trained, but just how treatments were conferred upon patients. But in this story, they have all these recently passed cadavers of people that died of this infectious disease that brought upon a violent fever, and the victims died. So they're all there in the surgery, and the students are there now with scalpels, and they're dissecting, they're learning. But they were strongly warned by the lecturer of the class, do not in any way, while you're conducting this procedure, bring your scalpel close to your skin. Because if you nick, if you prick, if you ever so slightly open your skin, then they wouldn't have known what it was back then, but the fever that is in these bodies that passed will be contracted to you, you will die within 24 hours. That was the nature of surgery training. Well, Hudson Taylor the night before had been stitching in his room because he had to make his own clothes, and he'd pricked his finger and forgot all about it. So he's conducting this dissection, and about an hour in, he's feeling wheezy, he's violently ill. He goes to the lecturer and says, I don't know what's going on, I've not cut myself. The lecturer gets his hand and finds the tiny little pinprick mark and says, these are literally the words that were told him, get your affairs in order forthwith, for you are a dead man. Hudson Taylor replied, not outwardly but inwardly, unless I'm greatly mistaken, I have work to do in China, and therefore I shall not die. Oh, for the pluck of a Hudson Taylor. That level of faith and confidence and courage. Well, he may not have died, and we know he didn't die, but he was ill for months, bedridden for months. The disease took over his whole body. He had no money for medicine, no money for doctor's visits, no money for even food. It was one of the most acute challenges of his early life, and he came through it being confident more than ever before that God was calling him to China.